I want to say I used to have a type A personality. I might still have it. But I have a very different relationship with my type A personality now. But it got me into a lot of trouble back in, well, about 2008 or 9, when I graduated from Chinese medical school, and it was 4 years, and every single vacation and break that I got from school, I was like on an international flight to visit a friend in England, or to like go visit my brother in Sweden, or to go to Taiwan to study extra. I was all over the place. I never like just had some downtime. And so it was no surprise by the time I actually finished my program, I was completely burned out. And I had what my naturopath called adrenal fatigue, if maybe some of you are familiar with that. I mean, I am like this go, go, go person, and I could not get off the couch. I couldn't get off the couch all day long, like for months. And I was like, I just graduated. I wanted to start my practice. And I just was flat out. And every tool in my toolbox helped a little bit, but like it didn't get me out of that place. And so I went to this other naturopath who specializes in autoimmune issues, which I had just been diagnosed with. And his name was Dr. Travis Elliott, and he recommended this mat. And I was at a point where I'm like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how it works, but like I'm literally desperate. Just give it to me. I don't care. I'll try it. And luckily, he rented it to me for a couple weeks or a month or something, which was great because it's an investment. And so I wasn't ready to invest in something that I didn't know anything about, and I didn't know if it was going to help me. So part of my adrenal fatigue, it wasn't just absolute fatigue all day long, but I was not sleeping at night. I mean, I would sleep 2 or 3 hours a night. That was it. And then I was so tired all day long. And then that night I would just hope and pray I could get sleep again, and I would get 2 hours. So it was a pretty awful cycle. And so when I brought this mat home, I laid on it that first night for like 8 minutes. Like that's all it was. It was just 8 minutes. I laid on it, and I think it was before bed. And then I got in bed, and I slept 13 hours, and I did not move a single inch. Like my husband at the time was like, I was worried about you. You did not move like one single bit, like for 13 hours. And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I feel alive again. But I also was like, my back hurts so bad because I haven't moved in 13 hours. And then that next day I did another 8 minutes, and I slept 12 hours that night. And I think I had a couple nights in a row where I slept 12 hours. And it was, if you've ever suffered from insomnia, to have a 12-hour slumber after having slept 3 hours a night for weeks on end, it is like magic. So I started calling it the magic mat. And I call it that to this day. And that was back in, when did I get that, Diane? Was that like 2009 or something?
It was pretty early on in that journey.
Like that. So it was a while ago. So anyway, fast forward to 2 years ago, I had been using the mat fairly regularly, maybe not every single night, but fairly regularly for years. And then, so I had a new partner. He moved in, and what I had was I had my mat on one side of my king size bed, and so I would use it right before bed, and then I would just roll over and go to sleep here. So I never had to move my mat. It just lived on my side of bed. But when I had a partner move in, I was like, oh, I better put this under the bed so there's room for him. So it just never really came back up from under the bed again for like months. It might have been 6 months. And, I was in love, so I just like, I was in another world. And I kind of just forgot about it. And then I just started getting this really intense brain fog after about 6 months or so. And I remember watching a movie with my partner, and something very simple happened in the show, and I couldn't track it. Like, I couldn't follow. I'm like, wait, who is that? Wait, why did he do that? Wait, is he married to her? Like, I couldn't track it. And it was a very simple show. And I just like broke down in tears because I'm like, why can I not understand something so simple? And I can't think of words these days, and I just felt like I had regressed. I wasn't fatigued, I didn't have insomnia, I didn't have the stuff I used to have, but I had this brain fog. And it was around that time that you came for your last visit, and Diane reached out to me and said, hey, would you come do a testimonial? And I was like, oh yeah, the magic mat. So I got it out from under my bed, and I started using it again. And like, I don't know how long past. It wasn't like, my first experience with the mat, like it was immediate, like that night, it was an immediate change. That is not common. I think Diane and Wolfgang, maybe you'd say that that's not necessarily common. It's not like that kind of change. But my brain fog went away after maybe a few weeks. I can't remember now, but my brain is foggy. No, just kidding. So yeah, it just shifted things for me in a very different way this second time. And so now I use it every single night again since you came. When were you here last? Was that 6 months ago?
A year ago.
A year ago?
A year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then and I upgraded to the new mat. So that's really awesome. And I love it because it's like gets warm. The new mats get warm. So I used to, when I was going to lay on, especially in the winter, it's kind of a pleather, plastic, whatever. So it's like cold, in the winter. And so I would put a heating pad on it for like the 10 minutes before I got on. Like I'd put the heating pad on, I'd go brush my teeth and wash my face, and then I'd get in bed and I'd take the heating pad off and it's warm. Now I don't have to do that because it just gets warm, which is so lovely. So I don't know, is there anything else that I could share?
That's great, thank you.
Okay, yeah. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Diane has my contact info. I probably should have brought business cards. I did not. But my name is Dr. Elie Cole, and my business is nourishingmedicine.com. So, and I'm in Milwaukee.